I'm going to follow the same procedures. I'm going to come up to my create drainage string. I'm going to click on same as, so I don't have to type all the information in again. And I'm going to pick on that line that I've just created. Obviously I have to have a unique name, so I'm going to click on, the name will be 3. Everything else stays the same. Happy?
What line did you click on?
On the last one that I created. So the one that I've just done, I've said I want this one to be same as line 2, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to change the name so that it's unique.
Oh, so you're just making on the drainage path.
Yeah, that last pipeline that we just created. So all the information is going to be the same, except that I'm going to give it a unique name. And then I'm going to click on create. Now, because it's in the same model, this time when I go edit, add, append manhole, I can come down to one of the manholes that are part of that and click on the middle of it. You can see the point snap, the diamond comes on, it's highlighting that, and accept. It now recognises all the information that's locked in with that previous manhole, okay? It recognises that it's, so when I set the pit name this time, it's not going to start at 3.1, it's going to start at whatever that manhole was, 2.3. Does that make sense? It's recognising that it's part of the same network. This is pretty important because it doesn't like to have duplicate points on top of each other. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to come across Okay, you see, as I was saying before, what I've done here in a pretty rough and ready way is I'm going to stick this one pipeline up the middle of these lots, because the fall is all from this end down to this end. Because I don't have a lot of fall across this way, I can service both the lots on the left hand side of the pipe and on the right hand side from the one pipeline. So it's okay, it's saving me half the cost that I would have if I had to do parallel drainage lines.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Yep, so this is just back to what I was doing over here. Rather than have the two of them, because there's not a lot of fall this way, it's all from top to bottom, there's not a great deal of height difference between there and there or there and there. So once they build the section, as long as I get this at a reasonable depth, at 1.5 metres deep, then this house and this house can both connect into the same part of the line, and I only need the one drainage line to service all of those lots, as opposed to the cost of having 2 lines. Okay? So you just got to look at, you got to just start to think as you're looking at your contours, can I get that section, is the line going to be deep enough? Have I got enough fall? Yeah, just it may be. Look, if the ground didn't dictate that I could do that, if it was sloping down in this direction, I'd have to have 2 lines. But in this case, it's nice and flat, so I can get away with 1. Okay, so I'm going to click Save and Finish. Obviously, I need some catchment data for this one. So I'm still in my model up in my CAD toolbar at the top here is still under catchment. So I'll just go through and look. This is going to be pretty rough. I'll just create a catchment at the top here. I'm not exactly putting a lot of thought into the... I'm just trying to get some catchment data in here so we can carry on.
And you're keeping it on the same model.
Yeah, so all the catchments are in the same model because that's where the network editor is looking for them, and my drainage lines are in the same model. Okay, obviously should have put a bit more thought into exactly how I'm laying this out, but just for this exercise, that close enough's good enough. Okay, so again, I've got a drainage line that if I profile on section view, stormwater lines 3. If you have a look down here at the end, you can see that it's recognised that the manhole I've started at is already part of the network. You can see the other pipes going in and out of it. So all I've done is I've created the string. I've started at a point that that's already part of my stormwater model. I've laid away and I've given it some really basic catchment data. Okay, I'm going to come up to my drainage network editor again. I'm going to pick on my new line, line 3. So what's the first thing I have to do?
Good glue.
No, I don't need to touch. That's a good point. I don't need to touch global or defaults because it's set for because it's in the same network. That my entire stormwater network is in SW lines. It remembers all that same information. So I don't need to worry about any of that top stuff. I start at the left and start to go through the same process. It won't do anything until I tell it to set pit names. So set pit names and run. What do I do next?
Set catchment.
Set catchments.
Why does that last message keep appearing?
Oh, it's just because the nodes file and the drainage.4d are not quite, they're not exactly the same, so it's just asking if there are any differences. So I've just kept the stored data. It really doesn't matter, just pick one or the other. Okay. Catchment details, and if you look down here, you can see that. Okay, I've just picked two massive catchments down here, but you can see that it has applied the catchments. Set pit details is next. That's really annoying. And then moving left to right, regrade pipes. Okay. So again, if I look at where I've started this line 3 off, you can see that it's recognised that it's part of an overall network because I can see the other pipes. I can see my hydraulic grade line already sitting there. Okay, and it's come up with a default design. So next I'm going to click on Storm Analysis. And I'm going to click Run. Just out of interest, I can now go back into that hydraulics report, which will have now been overwritten. Now previously that manhole 2.1 had a pipe flow that was considerably lower than this. This is now giving us a cumulative thing of all the water that is coming down in pipe 2 and all the storm water that's coming down in pipe 3. What has it given us as a pipe? We had a 300 pipe, and I would say that it's going to be bumped up to a, there we go, so the 300 pipe is obviously not sufficient anymore, so it's bumped up to a 375. Yep. Non-unique name detected. Just minimise that for a second. So have you definitely called this line? What was that? That's line 3.